I only do this because I love it. I do this because I'm passionate about the project. I love creating. I love world building and weaving a web and telling a story. And I was like, even if nobody else loves the story, I love the story. I'm just going to do this.
The artist known as Ethel Cain is the creation of DIY producer, writer, video maker, and storyteller Hayden Anadonia. Through the character of Ethel Cain, Hayden has created an epic story, tightly intertwined with her own life experiences.
Ethel Cain just kind of like happened. Like it just, like everything that I did seemed to just be another step in that direction subconsciously, until one day I woke up and I was like, my whole closet was white dresses and my hair had grown twice as long.
This isn't just about songs, but about how an artist has found a story and a sound which allows their own experiences to be powerfully channeled and expressed, leading to this unique and complex mix of reality and fantasy that the audience can be fully immersed within.
I wanted just overall, I had this picture of this like hot, uncomfortable, not glamorous at all American epic of a girl who is trying to be anything but what she's been told to be. And, you know, I was just like injecting all of my problems into it. Like anything that I was dealing with at the time, like bam, it went in the story. Like if I was having a problem with my mom, if I was having like a hard conversation, bam, now Ethel's having that conversation. Am I like unpacking some childhood trauma? Bam, so is Ethel. If I want to go on a road trip and fall in love with a stranger, bam, Ethel's gonna do that.
I described it a lot to people as my love of Lord of the Rings growing up. I always thought it's so nice when you have a world with things that it's not just you're interacting with it on surface level. You know, you get a character in a chapter and you think, well, where did you come from? And also The Legend of Zelda, this, you know, media that I consumed as a kid. I love when there's something that leads to something else, that leads to something else. I love when something's a breadcrumb. And so I thought, well, I want something like of the richness and the complexity of a fantasy series, but through the lens of a Southern Gothic, female-fronted kitchen table drama. It makes sense that aspect carried the project, because when people bite into something, they want more. They want to rip it apart and see how far down it goes. Because people are curious,
they want to decode it.
They want to decode it. And I mean, for better or worse, like that is, I think, one of the selling points. Sometimes I feel like people love the story more than they even love the music, which is also very cool, you know, whatever aspect of it.
More and more, the artists I talk to or talk about on this channel are multidisciplinary and are more and more deeply focused on all the world building that goes on around their central format of their work. Importantly, these aren't fake or constructed worlds either, drawn up by marketing people in offices and back rooms, where the creation of a manicured cultural representation of an artist might have been possible in the pre-internet era. Skipping forward to the present day, and now we can see how a DIY artist like Hayden can build an entire world around Ethel Cain, something that feels lived in through her lo-fi visual narratives and a host of different kinds of self-directed video. Along with this, Hayden is inviting her audience deep into the world in which she lives, creating live streams and book talks which she presents under her name, Hayden Anadonia, and just a whole load of different work that feels entirely natural and entirely of her own accord, unsanctioned by marketing teams or management.
There's a very certain niche, a very specific intersection of music that I wanted to hear that nobody else was creating. And I didn't know any producers when I first started making music. So I was like, if I want this sound, I'm going to have to do it myself. Yeah. So that's kind of how I got started with it. And then, you know, my production has definitely evolved, which is another reason I love doing it all myself, because when I look back at my discography, it's a very clear-cut progression of my skills and my techniques as a producer. You know, I go back and I listen and I'm like, I remember when I used to use this reverb plugin. I remember when I used to use this program. Like, I can listen to the song and be like, I remember when I used to make music like this. I remember the thought process that went into it. It's like a scrapbook. But I would definitely think the production is pretty important, but I like to keep it minimalistic and raw. I feel like a lot of the music I grew up listening to was not heavily pop inspired. It was not, you know, all the beat boops and the this and the that. I don't really have that kind of an ear. It's just like, you record the guitar, you record the piano, you record the vocals. It's all very simple. I like it to sound like it's recorded just in a room, like as though you were performing it live.
Although we can see a really strategic brain at work here around the stories that she wants to tell, it comes across naturally. She swims comfortably in the waters of internet distribution and the character creation and deep storytelling that it's allowing her.
Making music again with no anything. It was literally me and GarageBand. I said, well, I'm not going to have a career. Nobody's ever going to know who I am. It doesn't matter. I can do whatever I want. Because, you know, when I started, I was making like Gregorian chant music. I was making electronic music. I was making pop music. I was making ambient music. I was making spoken word pieces. I was doing literally whatever tickled my fancy. I was like, I can, because it doesn't matter.
You were amusing
I'm not going to have a career. I can literally, I don't have to have a brand or this or that. I can do whatever. That was kind of a way for me to just have fun. And it's like, if I heard a pop song I liked, I was like, oh, I can go try to make this. Or if I heard an ambient song that I liked, I was like, what if I want to stretch out this dialogue scene from this movie from the 70s and put it through Paul Stretch and listen to it as I fall asleep? Like, I could literally do whatever I want. It was a playground. And so, you know, now with people watching with Preacher's Daughter, I thought, well, I do have to be business minded. I do have to kind of clean up some of the sludgier, dronier aspects of this and make it more palatable. You know, I do have a deal. I have people, you know, who are counting on me. You know, there's money involved. This is my livelihood now. I'm not 19. I don't have a day job and I do this in my free time. This, again, has weight. I need to take it seriously. So I said, well, we need to make Preacher's Daughter something a bit more palatable so that I can continue forward and not have a dud album and then be, you know, just by the wayside. I need to keep forward momentum, because if I'm gonna get in my career, if I'm gonna do this for a living, I'm gonna try to do it right. I'm gonna try to do it well.
Once you got the opportunity during the pandemic.
A simple statement about this project of Hayden Anadonia's is that it could not have been pulled off by committee. And the power of Ethel Cain to connect to her audience is a manifestation of the power of the individual creative these days, when they lean into their own experience and voice fully and harness all the tools at their disposal to create that deeply personal storytelling, and to allow them to construct a complexity of meaning around the work that would be a struggle to capture without that single-minded individual holding the reins.
You know, back before everything, when I was making music in my bedroom with 0 followers, it was just a playground for me to like explore life. It was a way for me to process things in this like alternate reality of Ethel Cain. You know, 4 years later, it's like my life is very different, but I always told myself, I was like, you're gonna finish this record when 100% to your liking, exactly how you want it, with 13 long ass songs, a ton of reverb, a ton of whatever influences. If I went 3 guitar solos one after another, like however I wanted to structure this record, I was like, I'm gonna do it for me. And so it just snowballed into this thing that was just everything I've ever wanted to do, everything I've ever wanted to try, everything I've ever wanted to be. Ethel Cain became that, and it's kind of just like gone beyond my control at this point. Now the story's gotten even bigger, and you know, I've got the next 2 records, and there's just like it's like this big like monstrosity of a project, but it will always be my project that I say whatever I want in, and then put it out and be like, okay, here it is. It is what it is.
So at the time when you were writing this, had you experienced something like that yourself?
No, I'd never, I've had my brushes with love and met people and got scared and ran away almost immediately because I kind of had this inkling of an idea that this is too much for me and I'm scared. And if I even tried, I knew I was going to make a mess. So I just had a really good idea of what I was going to have to work through, accepting people for as they are, not as you want them to be. And so I kind of gave myself a playground to play it out. Me kind of saying, life is hard. I've been through stuff. I've made a fool of myself. I've been treated so badly and I would never do that to anyone. And you've been through stuff and you've been hurt. We have a past and a present. And then saying, this is so overwhelming and it's so hard. Just tell me all the time, not to worry. Just tell me all the time. And think about the day where we can find our patch of paradise, where I can spend all my time with you and none of this will matter. The two of us together will be enough. So it started with personal experiences, and then they kind of get, twisted into the Ethel Cain story because she is, at the end of the day, a part of me.
I hope some of the creatives in this community will pull something from the clips that I've brought forward from Hayden here. This is about trusting and digging into your own experience and voice, and about allowing the audience to step into your world as you build your projects, not in interaction with marketing teams or anything along those lines, but instead more of an interaction between you and the audience themselves.
I told my best friend, I said, I want to be a musician. I want to be famous someday. I want to be a musician. And she was like, go make a song. She's like, shut up and go make a song. Yeah. So I opened GarageBand and I made a song, and it was called The Altar. I recorded it all in one night. It was on the first mixtape that I put out that I have long since washed off the internet. And I was like, this is what I want and I'm going to make it happen. And I spent about 2 solid years working on music, making music every day, putting it out for an audience of like 0 people. I had like a couple of my friends who would support me and listen to my music. But yeah, it was about 2 years of making music to literally an empty room. And I think it was like 50% perseverance, 50% straight stubbornness that I just kept making music. And I was like, I'm gonna make it, goddammit. I was like, I'm gonna be a musician. I'm gonna do something big with my life. And I've always told myself, I was like, I'm gonna be famous not because I think that I'm just like all that. I am gonna be famous because I'm not gonna stop until I like make a living out of music, being a musician. And somehow I just wound up here. So I guess I did something right.
All that it leaves me to do now is to ask if anything has hit you about this video today, or if you've been able to take anything from the Ethel Cain project yourself. If you have enjoyed the work that I've done here, please do consider sharing this one with a fellow creative or friend. And as always, thanks to the paid supporters for helping me bring this work to everyone who may get value from it. Power to yourself and to whatever project you're working on this week. Speak soon.